Hey guys, guess what today is? Bella, what are we doing today?
Getting our puppy.
We're getting our puppy. We're about to go in and get Shrukin, and that is what we're going to talk about today. Our plan for feeding Shrukin and how we are going to raise him. So when we come back, you'll get to see that. Be back in a minute.
With every start, we are born again. Open your heart.
Hey guys, we are back. It's been a minute. Oh, there's a fuzzy. It's been more than a day since we picked up the puppy. We picked him up on Saturday. Then on Sunday we went to church and went out to lunch. Then Richard had a ham radio class, and I had every intention of filming, and I tried, but the only place to film was back on the bed. It didn't go very well. So this is the second day. So this is Monday. This is my third cup of coffee, I think. Something like that. I just came in from dumping the gray tank because it was backing up into the shower, which shouldn't have happened because it wasn't that full. And when I dumped it, not much came out. So that means we have a giant ice block in the gray tank, which is floating with the, In excellent news, we should be moving into our house next weekend. This weekend. It's the new week. This weekend. I cannot wait. I can't even begin to tell you how much I cannot wait. And I am so super excited. You get to see that in a little bit. But for now, let's talk dogs, cats, animals, period. Our puppy's name is Shrukin, which you heard. And it is from the book series Aragon. It's the big black dragon. He is going to be a big black German Shepherd with brown paws. We thought it was very fitting. It's also a Japanese throwing star. So either way, he's pretty bad butted. Yeah, anyways, that's what we figured we'd go with. And we wanted to talk about his diet. Diet is a pretty big part of all of our lives, as you've seen from the videos that we have out so far, and that extends to our animals. I wanted to let you guys know what we will be feeding him and why. When we were living in California, we had a black lab. Her name was Saphira. We got her when she was 10 weeks old. Saphira was sick from the first day we got her. She had diarrhea every day. It did not matter what we did, it never got better. Her hair eventually started falling out in patches by the time she was nearly a year, and her little nose, the slits, started turning gray and oozing goo. We tried over a dozen different dog foods, specific to her breed, specific to this, to that, grain-free with only potatoes and legumes. We took her to the vet. Oh, but she must have more worms. She must have more parasites. It must be something like, let's medicate her. Let's give her medicine. Been there, done that. As a human, I'd rather not. So we did that for a little while and nothing got better. She just got worse. For a black lab, she was excessively lazy. She would just lay around, didn't want to do much, didn't want to play a whole lot. One day Richard looked at me and he said, do what you did with us. Whatever you have to do, get the dog healthy. Let's look at her food. So we decided no more commercial dog foods. We're going to find another way of feeding her. So I started to research alternative ways to feed dogs. And I found what is called the raw feeding diet. It's actually called several different things. There's several different programs. One of them is called BARF, Biologically Appropriate Raw Feeding. There is the one that we did for Saphira was Raw Feeding 101. There's another website that I found that I really like. It's called Perfectly Rawsome. That's the one I think we're gonna go with for Shrukin. So it basically mimics what animals would have eaten in the wild. Since we had decided to go away from commercial dog food, I wanted to do a little research on where dog food came from and how long it's been around, because logically thinking, dogs have been on this planet longer than humans. Whether you think that this planet has been around for thousands of years, hundreds of thousands, millions, or billions of years, animals have been on this planet longer than humans have. How did those dogs feed themselves before us people came along? So I decided to research and find out where dog food came from. Dog food, commercial dog food, was originally created in 1860 by a man who noticed that people were giving leftover biscuits to dogs from ships. All the leftover biscuits had to go somewhere. People didn't want to eat them because they were dried out and kind of nasty, so they decided to give them to dogs. Guess what? Dogs shouldn't be eating biscuits. Frankly, neither should people, but I'm just saying. So I wanted to figure out how dogs fed themselves before us people came along and messed up the process. Let's be real. If you think about it, looking back in history, almost no dog ever had cancer. They didn't have diabetes. They didn't have the illnesses then that they do now. Much like us people, diabetes never used to be a thing. Cancer used to be excessively rare, and now it's running rampant, and it's getting worse every single year. Heart disease, one of those in that category as well. It's all tied to diet. I truly believe it's tied to diet and animals too. We've decided we are going to do the raw feeding program for Shrukin, and we are going to mimic what he would have eaten in the wild. Well, what does he eat in the wild? Dogs are carnivores. Fitting, right? So what they do is they go out and they hunt rabbits, squirrels, birds, all kinds of animals like that. What do? They eat the whole thing. All of it. They eat the fur, they eat the muscle meat, the bone, the organs, and the stomach ingredients. Dogs are carnivores. Actually, they're facultative carnivores. What does that mean? They're ketovores. How fun is that? They do eat mostly meat and bone. The bone is very important, but they also did eat the stomach contents of whatever animal it was that they killed. Let's say it was a rabbit. Well, the rabbit would have eaten greens, some vegetable, some fruit, maybe some berries, a little bit of seeds, and nuts. Sounds a little bit like ketovore to me. What the animal ate would have been appropriate for that animal. Just keep that in mind. You notice that dogs don't go around to wheat crops and cornfields and rice paddies and dig up all of those grains and consume them. And yet, that is what is in the bulk of most dog foods. The really good, expensive ones start with a meat of some kind, chicken. And then it goes to chicken meal, which includes the bones and organs and skin and collagen. So I'm okay with that. I know there's some other funky stuff in there. And then it's brown rice or potatoes or wheat or corn or soy. Dogs should not be consuming those things. They are not healthy for the animal, and they're just used as fillers because they're cheaper. Also, dogs don't use fire, so they don't cook their food. While some people have a major problem accepting the fact that dogs can eat raw food, you need to understand a little bit of science for this. Humans have a pH in our stomach of about 1.5. It's about as acidic as battery acid. And that's why we can digest a lot of the things that we can digest. Dogs have a stomach that is even more acidic than ours, right around a 1. They can handle bone and other bacteria that we cannot handle. Raw feeding a dog is actually the best thing for them. Just like with us, it's building materials. You give your dog the proper building materials and they will grow big and strong and healthy. Saphira is proof of that. After about 2 months of raw feeding, because we did a slow conversion for her, she was completely better. She had her energy back, all of her hair grew back, she wasn't itchy and coughing anymore, and the little funky gray nose thing she had going on, completely gone. The vets had absolutely no idea how it worked. We told them we took her raw feeding. They said, oh, well, that's not going to be good enough to balance all of her nutrients. And no, the food had nothing to do with it. It must be the medications that we gave her. Yeah, I never actually gave her those medications, but I didn't bother telling them that. So we were sold. Every animal from there on out that we will ever own will eat the proper canine, feline, whatever diet for that animal. Just like we will eat the proper human diet. What does his diet look like right now? Right now, it's just chicken. And it's going to be that way for about 2 weeks until his little belly has a chance to get to know how to digest chicken and chicken bone, because he was raised on kibble. So he's got bacteria in there that love to eat carbohydrates, much like people that come from the standard American diet. We have to give his body some time to get rid of those bacteria and build up the good gut microbiome that will help him digest and process the good foods. It's going to take about 2 weeks, possibly even a month. But for the first 2 weeks, he is going to have nothing but chicken. He's going to have chicken muscle meat and chicken bones, chicken skin, and that is it. Nothing else. After those 2 weeks, once his tummy has settled and he seems to be doing well, we are going to add in another animal. For us, it's probably going to be deer because we have a lot of that available to us. It's important to just do one animal at a time. You give your animal's tummy a chance to give you some feedback. Once he has been introduced to several different kinds of muscle meat and has had perfectly firm stools for 2 weeks, we will begin to introduce organs, because organs are super multivitamins. You want to take a multivitamin as a human? Just go eat some liver. You want to take a multivitamin as a dog? Same thing. Eat the liver. We will introduce that very slowly in tiny pieces because it is so nutrient dense. Sometimes it's a little overwhelming for the body. It's going to be a little bit of a process, but it is absolutely worth it in every way. One thing to note about the raw diet: a lot of animals live 50% longer on a raw fed diet. If your animal is supposed to live for 10 years, you may get 15 years out of it, because when their bodies are working properly, given the right things, and they aren't developing all of those chronic health problems, amazing things happen. You can look it up online. There are many, many people who raw feed their animals, swear by it, and also see the difference in the longevity and the quality of their animal's life. That is why we have chosen to do that. So in true carnivore fashion, even our dog is a carnivore, and he will be eating the proper canine diet. Well, that's about it. He should be waking up from his nap any moment, which means let the fun begin. Don't forget to do all of the things. If you want to help us out and support us, doing this, liking, subscribing, and the little bell notification actually helps us more than you probably know. That is the best way to support us right now, and we are so grateful for every single one of you who are watching and supporting us and cheering us on. I'm gonna go get in some puppy playtime, and I will see you on the way. Bye, guys. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop, so you have to tell it to stop. Stop filming.
Oh, he's so sweet. Hi, sweetie.
So, coffee is that important right now. How are you doing, little one?
Hugging your doggy. Hugging your doggy. I love to sleep with him and protect him.
And protect him. Food came from. No. You may play in the sink. You may go get toys and play in the back room. I got it to stop filming. That's good. You wanna come over here and talk to me for a minute now? My hair's a mess.
Yeah.
You wanna put your shirt on?
No, I'm just gonna get warm on my blanket.
Oh, well, come here.
Mommy.
Uh-huh.
I don't want.
Come here.
My hair's not. like the hair is red. I want to watch it.
Come here.
This is a first you're recording.
Hey, I'm recording. Did you make a mess when you were playing in the water?
No.
Boop. Boop the snoot. Boop the snoot. Boop the belly button. I booped your belly button.
That hurts.
It hurts. Oh, the poor belly button. What am I gonna do? I love you.
I'm gonna do it.
You're funny.
No.
I got your hand. I need the puppy.
The puppy?
Yeah, we need to take pictures with the puppy. It's important to just do one animal at a time so you give your little creatures a chance to